Chuck Norris once told a woman to calm down, and she did. Chuck Norris counted to infinity, twice. What does Chuck Norris do when an army attacks him? He surrounds them. Chuck Norris doesn't sleep, he waits. Chuck Norris doesn't read books. He stares them down until they give him the information he wants. Shadows avoid Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris doesn't wear a watch. He decides what time it is. Chuck Norris doesn't use Google. Google asks Chuck. When Chuck Norris does squats, the earth trembles. Chuck Norris doesn't breathe. Air asks for permission. Tech facts. Chuck Norris can close a browser tab with his bare hand. Only Chuck Norris can download the entire internet onto a floppy disk. Computer viruses are afraid of Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris doesn't have a password. The system unlocks itself out of respect. The internet was created so Chuck Norris would have a place to post his memes. Chuck Norris doesn't need Wi-Fi. He has Wi-Fear. When Chuck Norris clicks delete, the file disappears forever from the entire world. Chuck Norris can divide by zero. Only Chuck Norris can place round blocks in Minecraft. Only Chuck Norris can play as the referee in FIFA. Absurd and cosmic Chuck Norris once kicked a horse in the chin. Its descendants are known today as giraffes. The Big Bang was just Chuck Norris sneezing. Chuck Norris can win at rock, paper, scissors by showing his fist. Chuck Norris can slam a revolving door. Chuck Norris doesn't have a mirror. His reflection is too scared to show up. Only Chuck Norris can find a stick with only one end. Chuck Norris can win a fight against his own shadow. When Chuck Norris stares into the abyss runs away. Chuck Norris can start a fire with an ice cube. Chuck Norris doesn't go to sleep. Night begins when he closes his eyes. Sports and strength. Chuck Norris lifts weights that actually want to be lifted. Chuck Norris finishes a marathon before it even starts. Chuck Norris won the Tour de France on foot. Chuck Norris kicks the ball, and the ball scores by itself. Chuck Norris doesn't swim. The water moves out of his way. Chuck Norris won at chess in one move. Chuck Norris sprints while standing still. Chuck Norris does pull-ups without a bar. Chuck Norris can do a front flip and a back flip at the same time. Chuck Norris doesn't lose. The world just wins temporarily. Meta, about the jokes. Once, a beautiful Miss World asked Chuck Norris to do what he does best. She got a roundhouse kick. Even Chuck Norris's thin intestine is thick. Chuck Norris isn't on any banknotes because people would have trouble with such high denominations. Every Chuck Norris joke is actually a fact. Chuck Norris reads these jokes, and they become funnier. Chuck Norris doesn't understand jokes. Jokes understand Chuck. Only Chuck Norris can have an eye-to-eye conversation with a cyclops. Chuck Norris jokes are the only jokes that aren't exaggerated. Chuck Norris doesn't need jokes. His life is a joke to the laws of physics. When Chuck Norris jokes end, new ones begin.